Few figures loom as large in the annals of history as Napoleon Bonaparte. His name echoes through time, a symbol of ambition, military genius, and ultimately tragedy. Napoleon's impact on Europe and the world remains undeniable. His legacy a complex tapestry woven from revolution, conquest, and lasting legal reforms. Welcome back to History Uncovered. Today, we journey back to the turn of the 19th century, a time of upheaval and change, to explore the life of Napoleon Bonaparte. From his humble beginnings on the island of Corsica to his meteoric rise and dramatic fall, Napoleon's story is one of ambition, brilliance, and the enduring power of human will. Born Napoleon Bonaparte in 1769 on the island of Corsica, Napoleon's early life was shaped by the island's turbulent politics and his family's modest nobility. Corsica, recently conquered by France, provided a backdrop of resistance and rebellion that would later influence Napoleon's own rebellious spirit. At the age of 9, he left Corsica to pursue a military education in mainland France, excelling in mathematics and artillery. These formative years instilled in him a deep sense of ambition and a thirst for knowledge. Napoleon's military talents quickly became apparent. He rose through the ranks during the French Revolutionary Wars, distinguishing himself in campaigns in Italy and Egypt. His tactical brilliance, coupled with his charisma and unwavering self-belief, earned him the admiration of his troops and the respect of his superiors. Napoleon's star was on the rise. In 1799, amidst political instability in France, Napoleon seized his moment. He returned to Paris, and in a bloodless coup d'état, overthrew the Directory, establishing himself as first consul of France. At the age of 30, Napoleon Bonaparte held the reins of power. Napoleon's reign ushered in an era of unprecedented French military dominance. His leadership and vision transformed the French army into a formidable force that would leave an indelible mark on history. He reorganized the French army, implementing innovative tactics and strategies that revolutionized warfare. By focusing on speed, flexibility, and the element of surprise, Napoleon's military strategies were ahead of their time, setting new standards for future generations. His campaigns across Europe, from the plains of Italy to the battlefields of Austria, became legendary. Each campaign was meticulously planned and executed, showcasing his unparalleled strategic mind and the unwavering discipline of his troops. Victories at Marengo, Austerlitz, and Jena cemented Napoleon's reputation as a military genius, his armies seemingly invincible. These battles not only demonstrated his tactical brilliance, but also his ability to inspire and lead his men to achieve the impossible. Yet Napoleon's ambitions extended beyond military conquest. He envisioned a unified Europe under French influence, where his reforms would bring about a new era of governance and societal structure. He sought to reshape Europe, implementing reforms that modernized governments and legal systems. His administrative changes aimed at creating a more efficient and centralized state, which would serve as a model for other nations. The Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive legal system, standardized French law, and left a lasting legacy on legal systems throughout Europe and beyond. This code emphasized clearly written and accessible law, which influenced many modern legal systems around the world, ensuring Napoleon's impact would be felt long after his reign. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French. This act, a calculated blend of ambition and symbolism, marked the culmination of his meteoric rise to power. Napoleon, the once obscure Corsican artillery officer, was now the master of Europe. Napoleon's reign as emperor was marked by a constant struggle to maintain his vast empire. He faced down coalitions of European powers determined to curb his ambitions. From the Iberian Peninsula to the frozen plains of Russia, Napoleon's armies fought tirelessly, but the tide was beginning to turn. Napoleon's empire, at its height, stretched from Spain in the west to the borders of Russia in the east. This vast expanse of territory was unprecedented, showcasing the sheer power and influence Napoleon wielded during his reign. His military genius and strategic prowess allowed him to conquer and control such a diverse and extensive region. His influence extended even further, shaping the political landscape of Europe and beyond. Napoleon was not just a military leader, he was a masterful diplomat and a shrewd politician. He negotiated treaties, formed alliances, and manipulated the political dynamics of the time to his advantage. His presence was felt in every corner of Europe, and his decisions had far-reaching consequences. He installed puppet monarchs, redrew national boundaries, and spread the ideals of the French Revolution, albeit with a Napoleonic twist. These puppet rulers were loyal to him, ensuring that his influence remained strong even in distant lands. The redrawing of national boundaries created new states and altered the political map of Europe, leaving a lasting legacy. However, the seeds of Napoleon's downfall were sown within his own ambition. His desire for absolute power and control led him to make increasingly risky decisions. His ambition blinded him to the practical limitations of his empire, and he began to overreach. His relentless pursuit of power and his insatiable appetite for conquest ultimately proved to be his undoing. The continuous military campaigns drained the resources of his empire and exhausted his troops. The constant state of war created unrest and dissatisfaction among the people. The empire, built on military might, stretched too thin, and resistance to French rule began to grow. Local populations, tired of foreign domination, started to resist. Nationalist movements gained momentum, and uprisings became more frequent. The once mighty empire began to crumble under the weight of its own ambitions and the growing resistance from within. The turning point in Napoleon's fortunes came with his disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812. The Russian winter, coupled with the scorched-earth tactics of the Russian army, decimated the Grande Armée. The invasion of Russia marked the beginning of the end for Napoleon's empire. Weakened and facing renewed opposition from his European rivals, Napoleon's empire began to crumble. In 1814, he was defeated and forced to abdicate, exiled to the island of Elba. Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that echoes through the annals of history, is often remembered for his military prowess and his indomitable will. Born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French military during the tumultuous times of the French Revolution. Napoleon's escape from Elba and his subsequent 100 Days campaign, a daring and audacious move, showcased his relentless ambition and strategic genius. After being exiled to the island of Elba in 1814, Napoleon managed to escape in February 1815, rallying his supporters and marching back to Paris in a bid to reclaim his empire. This dramatic return culminated in his final defeat at Waterloo in 1815, cementing his legend. The Battle of Waterloo was a decisive confrontation that pitted Napoleon against the Seventh Coalition, led by the Duke of Wellington and Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. Despite his tactical brilliance, Napoleon's forces were ultimately overwhelmed, leading to his downfall. Exiled once more, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, Napoleon spent the remaining years of his life in relative isolation. The harsh conditions and the constant surveillance by the British authorities took a toll on his health and spirit. Napoleon died in 1821 at the age of 51. His death marked the end of an era, but his influence continued to resonate throughout Europe and beyond. His tomb, located at Les Invalides in Paris, remains a site of pilgrimage for many who admire his legacy. Napoleon's legacy remains complex and contested. Historians and scholars have long debated his impact on the world. Was he a tyrant who sought to dominate Europe through sheer force, or a visionary leader who brought about significant reforms and modernization? He was a military genius, a ruthless dictator, and a visionary reformer. His Napoleonic Code laid the foundation for modern legal systems in many countries, and his administrative reforms helped streamline governance. Yet his relentless pursuit of power led to widespread devastation and loss of life. His actions shaped the destiny of Europe, redrawing borders and influencing the political landscape for decades to come. The Napoleonic Wars, a series of conflicts that spanned over a decade, involved nearly every major European power and had far-reaching consequences. Leaving a legacy of both progress and destruction, Napoleon's era was marked by significant advancements in military strategy, as well as cultural and scientific achievements. However, the cost of his ambitions was immense, with millions of lives lost and entire regions ravaged by war. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more historical journeys. Stay tuned for more exciting content. As we close this chapter on Napoleon Bonaparte, let's take a moment to reflect on the broader lessons his life offers us. Until next time, keep exploring the past, for it is through understanding our history that we can better navigate our future.